Enron Company was created after merging Houston Natural Gas Corporation and Inter-North Corporation in July 1985. It was one of the largest energy companies of natural gas and electricity in the world. It marketed natural gas liquids worldwide, operated one of the largest natural gas transmission systems in the world, and was one of the world's biggest independent oil and gas exploration companies. Their CEOs were Kenneth Lay and Jeffrey Skilling. Their CFO was Andrew Fastow. The company brought in $4 billion a year from electricity sales in 1998, while expecting that it would gain 10% of the $300 billion of domestic gas and electric retail market within 10 years. They had almost 22,000 employees and revenues of nearly $101 billion in 2000, shortly before its downfall. The scandal in 1997, and before Andrew Fastow became the CFO of Enron, he started to hide his debts and inflate profits. Fastow set up some partnerships to the company, and they were regarded as special purpose entities called SPEs. Enron's unwanted assets and liabilities were transferred to these SPEs, and they were used to hide their risky investment activities and losses. Enron did not include these subsidiaries or partnerships in their balance sheets. Later, forensic accountants determined that many of Enron's assets and profits were inflated, and some of them were completely fraudulent and non-existent. They also discovered that billions of Enron's debts and losses from special deals and projects were absent from their financial statement. In 2001, the company had revenue of $100 billion. Shortly after that, Lay and Skilling, in addition to other Enron executives, began selling large amounts of Enron stock. As prices continued to drop, from a high of about $90 per share to less than $1 earlier in the year. In December 2nd, the company had to file for bankruptcy. They had debts of more than $38 billion, and they announced that they had $638 million in third quarter losses, and also $1.2 billion reductions in shareholders' equity. A few months after that, the U.S. Justice Department began a criminal investigation into Enron's bankruptcy. The consequences: thousands of workers were laid off, and a lot of Enron executives were charged with several charges, such as obstruction of justice for shredding documents, conspiracy to commit wire and securities frauds, and some have been sentenced to prison. By 2006, Fastow was sentenced to 6 years in prison. Jeffrey Skilling was sentenced to 24 years in prison, but Kenneth Lay passed away 3 months before trial. We have two opinions to what happened to Enron. One opinion is that they only thought of themselves and how to gain more money without caring how. And they also did not consider their stakeholders like employees and their families and shareholders. A lot of employees got laid off, which means that they became unemployed without any other source of income. And the shareholder who trusted Enron lost their money because of the executive selfishness. So, we think that they deserve what happened to them. Enron is just one example of companies who have gone bankrupt because of their unethical scandals. Companies who are still operating should prevent doing what Enron and other unethical companies have done. Establish a code of ethics if they do not have one already, and obey what's written in it to stay ethical and operate safely and successfully. The second opinion is that each company should be clear about all its revenues and liabilities without hiding it. So, if any investor wants to invest in Enron, he can make sure where his company goes, how safe it is, and whether he will gain or lose if he invests in such a large company. As accountants, we have to follow the ethics of our career, especially in the financial reporting. We have to state the material information completely and clearly without any manipulations, because it can change the way the investor thinks about the company. Also, every leader and manager should think smartly, because if he operates his company in an illegal way, he will be punished and accounted for. While if he works legally, he can gain profit, save investors' money, and the employees.
Created using Powtoon.